time. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Let me grab some vitamins and get situated first. We got a party of 3.
Right, yeah, that's fine. Stanley said he was coming this way, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
We'll get started here shortly.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
How are you this evening?
Good. Is it okay if I leave my horse here, or should I?
When it storms, water will come over the docks. You may want to push it back a little ways, yeah.
Like that? Okay.
Yeah. We get some strong waves, and sometimes it wash them right off the dock here. Is this everybody in your party?
Yep, this is everyone.
Okay. Yeah, we can start that way into the museum. If you want to go right through the mouth of the museum, or there's the signs to read.
Are you Elias?
No, Elias is the picture up above.
Oh, okay.
My name's Boggert Slime. I'm a co-curator of the BoggOdd Oddities Museum. My sister, Bogatha Slime, is my twin sister, and she's the other co-curator of the museum.
Well, it's nice to meet you.
And nice to meet you. Welcome. Baga's grabbing a snack, and she'll be here in just a second. And so, has everyone had a good day today?
Very good day, thank you.
Very good.
How about yourself?
Yes, doing very well for a Sunday. There's Bagatha. Here's our little tour group.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi. Alright, are we ready to begin the tour?
Ready?
Alright, we'll begin. Leave your preconceived notions of the normal world at this very threshold, and enter the world of the mysterious, the unusual, and the odd at BoggOdd Oddities Museum. By entering the museum, you agree management not responsible for any and all incidents herein, including but not limited to falling, tripping, plunging into wells or graves, or changing of hair color. Right this way.
Please step lively into the next chamber.
Our tour begins on your left, or on your right, I'm sorry, as you enter the museum. At a blazing hot, tropical freeboard, there stood a quiet specialty cheese shop at the end of an alley. You're probably questioning, is it appropriate to locate a cheese shop in the melting heat? The answer, no. But not because of the heat, however. It was the feral cats. The cats had taken to begging at the cheese shop. As patrons were leaving, they would kindly drop a crumb or two, leaving the cats to wait for the next patron. Eventually, the roof support beams groaned and popped under the weight of waiting cats. The shop owner attempted to shoo them away at first, but then realized that the cats would not touch the crumbs of the most pungent cheeses. A patron remarked, "It is so hot today, the stone walls are almost sizzling." As the patron rounded the corner, the shop owner sprang into action and, gathering the most pungent of cheeses, pressed them into the blazing hot stone wall, where they melted, sticking them on. It did work. To the cats, the stench of the cheese was so intense that they fled to the far side of the island. The shop owner rested well that evening until suddenly the roof supports began to creak and groan again. Running into the dark to chase the cats off the bowing roof, the shop owner caught a glimpse of them through the moonlight. The cats first turned their eyes and then their beaks toward the shop owner. It was then the owner realized the roof was covered not in cats, but in starving, hungry vultures.
You're welcome to smell the wall and see what the pungent cheese was.
I thought that was your monkey that smelled.
Rude.
The tour will continue around the corner.
Oh yes, the tour continues right over here by me.
That's pretty neat.
The Great Northern Factory disaster took place on a particularly cold, dark, rainy evening. The main source of heat in the frozen north was a giant fireplace located beneath the smokestack located here above me. The factory backed up to a large rock mountain, and the entrance to a great coal mine was built down off the factory into the depths of the mountain. The top of the mountain was known as a habitat for an assortment of different animals. The employees of the factory found a particularly large snake roasting on the coals late one afternoon and proceeded to prepare it for their dinner pot. It wasn't unusual for someone to bring whatever they had to share, although they could not determine who the snake. They made a feast of the snake anyhow and went back to work. As evening grew colder and darker, they placed more and more coals onto the fire. What no one realized was that the snake, deliciously roasting on the fire, had chased a rather plump sheep from the mountaintop. The snake and the sheep both fell over the edge and landed on the top of the smokestack. The snake fell through, down onto the coals below, and the sheep was wedged in the smokestack high of the factory. The toxic smoke had already weakened most of the workers, to the point they could no longer get out when the panic began. All but 3 workers were killed in this tragedy. The death toll was said to be near 458 lives, and it would remain the largest number of people killed by a single sheep for at least 2 more decades.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
How did you hear this story?
There's a lot of ways the stories come to us. Sometimes people are able to introduce us to a story, and we did a lot of traveling when we were very young before we got so elderly. And when we were doing our traveling, we came across a great many different things out there in the strange oceans.
Very nice.
Oh,
Is there a story about this gentleman up here in the chair?
yes. Beside me here is a certified giraffe examination chair. It's been placed here as a public service by the Giraffe Handlers Association when a giraffe needs to be examined for whatever purpose. It is much easier to inspect them from closer to their hide. The doctor will climb up to the chair, and the giraffe will be brought closer for inspection. What type of inspection, you ask? One is to inspect whether they have the giraffe-like teeth, or if they have the less common human-like teeth, of course. But a far more common reason, however, is to see if the ears have been laid with spider eggs again, as giraffe ears are known to be the perfect habitat for spider eggs. Laying their eggs deep within the giraffe's warm ear hairs, they lie forgotten until the time comes for the hatching. You have giraffes, tame or wild, near your home. Be sure they do not shake their heads frequently. This is the first sign that the spider egg laying has occurred. If your giraffes have ears infested with spider eggs, the time will come. They will hatch, and the giraffe's head shaking will deposit hatchlings in and around your home.
But we're killing all the giraffes. We'll get back.
Oh no, giraffes near your home. Well, just check and make sure they're not shaking their heads frequently. That's the first sign that the eggs have been laid.
Mm-hmm. And if you see a spider, it's most likely guaranteed they've already seen you and started running towards you.
Oh, there's so many eyes.
They sound so vicious.
Everyone here? Ah, there we are. In a far-off kingdom, a rotten king reigned supreme. He was known to frequently decide he had been slighted, and he would place people in prison to be punished, or worse. The king unexpectedly ordered a particularly complicated feast from his chef Arthur in the middle of the night. The chef and the kitchen staff worked frantically, as tired as they were, to create a culinary masterpiece. The feast was a triumph, and the king later sent word to see if he may speak with the chef. Word arrived very early in the morning. The king would be to the kitchens within the hour, and the kitchen staff readied themselves for the visit. The king arrived with his guards and quietly toured the kitchens as he thoroughly inspected many things. Nothing was said, and the king looked at his guards as he approached the exit and nodded. The king's guards proceeded to destroy the kitchen's pots and pans and kitchen tools, and the guards turned to the chef and said, "The king would like you to know he is displeased with last night's feast. You forgot to serve sea salt instead of salt with his meal." The chef was aghast. He knew he had served sea salt as he had prepared it himself. He only said "I" before he was cut off, and he was told he was to be removed from the king's staff and placed in prison to await some sort of punishment. King...
Can...
What?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were...
Oh, no, not... The king felt assured mistakes would no longer be made in his kitchens, and as a test a few weeks later, he had a feast prepared for the opening of the night's tournament, at the end of which a victorious knight stood remaining. The king was so unhappy he had been slighted again, and his favorite didn't win, that he rushed the knight with a dagger in his hand. The knight flicked away the dagger and gave the king what was intended for the knight. The king now removed from life and power, the knight made their way to the throne and were seated. The shocked crowd dropped the facade of reverence for the old king, and warmly cheered a powerful new leader. The gods, also shocked but no longer hiding their contempt for the rotten king, said, "All hail the new king." To which the entrant removed their helmet and said, "Queen." "All hail the new queen," said the gods. "What would you have us do, your majesty?" they asked. "Firstly, bring me Arthur the chef from the prisons." Arthur approached the new queen, and he quietly asked, "Daughter, what has happened? And are those my pots and pans you are wearing?" "There's time to explain it all, father," she said. "They sent them to me at the blacksmith shop to repair them. They didn't know I was your daughter." She smiled pleasantly at her father, and they waved toward the crowd over the tournament field and the cold, dead body of the former king. "You always said that your pots and pans would bring us good fortune, father. You just didn't know how right you were."
Oh my.
"Oh, yes. Any questions at all?"
No, can I come up and see this a little bit closer?
"Oh, sure, you're welcome to.
Thin Man.
Yeah. You have to take a step back and a nice jump up here, but you're welcome."
That's really neat.
"Oh, well, thank you very much."
Before we go into the next chamber, please do not panic. Everything is under control. The fire is under control. In case of emergency, we'll direct you to the nearest fire exit.
It's only fire that looks like fire. Everything is fine in here.
Okay.
It looks like on fire.
It's only fire that looks like fire. Everything is all right. On a roasting hot desert island, it rarely rained. House fires were happening frequently. To help combat those fires, the residents used what they had to craft 2 fire carts. These carts, each pulled by the best rhinosaur the island could breed, were filled with water and pulled from location to location. Raspberry the monkey, found wandering an island used as a turtle habitat, was a pet of the head of the fire cart haulers. Out on one of their first patrols, they discovered something unusual. Raspberry had previously been trained to pull a cart. They decided, given his constant insistence he be handed the reins, Raspberry would be trained to drive the rhinosaur of cart number 2. This worked more than well. Raspberry was already a complete natural at cart handling, needing no instructions at all. They even crafted a small seat just for him. This allowed the others to focus more on the fires, and months passed with the carts racing fire to fire, Raspberry excitedly guiding the cart all the way. One afternoon, after a particularly difficult morning of fighting a long series of fires, the bell rang out again. It was time to ready the carts, and Raspberry could not be located this time. The head of the fire cart haulers went to Raspberry's room, found the monkey asleep in bed. Knowing that the poor creature must be exhausted after the morning they had someone else pull the reins of the fire cart. They left without poor tired Raspberry and headed off to the fire. Along the way, they spotted an unreported house fire and slowed cart number 2 to water it, but they could catch back up to cart number 1. While spraying the house, the front door burst open, and a soaking wet Raspberry, with an extinguished torch in hand, emerged. Not believing that Raspberry could be both asleep and at the scene of this fire, his bed was checked. Neatly shaped and arranged was a pair of trousers, made to look like a sleeping monkey. Raspberry was wise at a great many things, cart hauling and deception being among his greatest talents. He was returned to the offices of the Turtle Sanctuary, where he was found, so he could retire from his very active life. The fire stopped overnight, and the fire cart haulers were quiet until one afternoon a flare was fired, and a representative of a neighboring island had arrived wanting advice on fire carts, for they too had been plagued with fires recently. They also needed a small seat in the front, because they had the oddest thing, a monkey who knew how to drive a cart.
That does sound impressive.
It was.
Does this monkey here have special training?
Oh no, this is just a representative of Raspberry the monkey.
But I wouldn't trust that monkey. Look at his tail. It's already dipped down in some type of sulfur or coal or something.
Don't look at me about this. No, this is not a tavern filled with delicious libations. In fact, if you had been here 50 years ago, you would be dead. It wasn't unusual a long time ago to place additives into your spirits. To those victors who survive the vomitous power. The most luxurious and classy sleeping area. There were some things down from the hatch above. Of the well and having not seen the brothers for some time.
that could be.
Hello, Boggert.
Oh, hello.
Hello, sir.
Did you have a tour?
Yes, I stepped away for a moment to check on a few things.
All right.
Mm.
There's quite a few people.
Just three. There's a museum tour, special event for next Friday at 9:30.
Oh, what kind of special event?
A pirate group by the name of Black Rose.
Oh, you said them.
Owen's very familiar with them. He's regaled us with several stories.
I think I still have a book you gave me with their song or something in it.
Yes, yes. Perhaps I should make some copies so you can put the book in the gift shop to, make them happy.
Oh, okay. So how's the cattle going?
There's 2 new steers born today. I just rushed over there to check on them for a bit, and they seem to be strong enough to eat from the trough. So I just sort of cleaned up a bit, moved some things around, and then came over here to drop off Hugo. Thought I would join in on the tour.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're welcome to come join, and we can always recap what you missed.
Are they very far in?
And probably 7 exhibits by now.
All right. Yeah, I'll just head over there now.
Okay.
I'm sure it's very similar to what I've heard before, but never know. Some things are prone to change.
I got some feed here. I didn't know if you need any.
What sort of feed? You've got quite an arm on you as well, is what you've got.
Yes.
No, that's interesting.
This is may help with cattle. I don't know. You may want to put it in a preserving bag or something.
Right, yeah. Rather than run all the way over there, I'm just going to... Tansy, is it alright if I put it in a bag upstairs for a bit?
Yeah, of course. That's fine.
Okay, I just didn't want to, I don't know, cooks have a right to be picky about what goes in and out of their kitchen, and didn't want to have any objections about putting this in with some of the other edibles.
I think there's...
No.
Yeah, I think there's an extra bag up there. It just needs some salts in it.
Alright. I think there's a lot of herbs and whatnot up there. Just putting in that existing bag probably wouldn't do any harm.
You want me to run it up there for you?
Oh, I'll take it. It's fine. I appreciate it, though.
Okay.
I just said want to run things by, people who are responsible or primary in certain areas before I do something to fiddle about that area.
I'm pretty easygoing, so as long as you don't just destroy everything, it's good.
All right.
Okay, I'm heading back to help with the tour.
Yeah, I think I'll join in for the remaining as well. I'll follow you.
I guess I will too. I need a break.
I do like this here that she did, the continued walkway through.
Oh, yes. We're also working on a little better bridge over there.
Oh, nice.
We wanted to test the groundwater situation.
Oh, that makes sense.
Seems to be working quite nicely.
Do you know the name of the group?
No, not really. They seem to be very polite.
Oh, that's good.
Placed his treasure safe. He left the polar region for his home on Warm Elephant Island. He owned a small piece of the island that included a swamp. The swamp was home to many horrendous beasts, the least of which were endless amounts of spiders. He knew the perfect location for a hideaway, for his treasure was a well-hidden cavern on the edge of the swamp. You would not see it unless you were falling into it. Covered in vines and growth, it was the perfect place, except it was home to thousands of spiders. He knew spiders feared one thing above all others, a larger, faster spider. To attempt to stop the spiders from living in the cavern, as well as to add an additional shock, should any unfortunate soul stumble into the caverns, he carted the old forgotten wood stoves down into the darkened mouth of the cavern, and created this monstrosity before you. Welding the wood stoves together and carving a stone plinth from the cavern's rocks, he successfully created a spider to frighten all spiders. And the other spiders fled in fear, leaving him in freedom to place his treasures deep, now in the delightfully spider-free cavern. He went back to making more and more treasure in the polar north, and then he eventually readied himself for a return to his cavern. Upon his return to that island, he was looking forward to the spiderless cavern after having fought his way through numerous, never-ending spiders in the swamp. He arrived at the cavern and found it filled, not with spiders, but with elephants. It was bursting at the seams with elephants that chased him from the entrance all the way back to his ship, over and over. Well, you see, the only thing that kept the elephants from the cavern were spiders, and the only thing that lured them into the cavern was the new multiple-armed scratching post someone had placed there for them to use. Yes. Alright, we'll move forward now to our next exhibit. If you'd like a food and beverage, we have a food and beverage station here. You're welcome to see what we have available.
Popcorn, get your popcorn.
We have the popped corn for those who may want to taste.
And some people call it the popped out corn. I hope you don't mind. Some of the town folk have decided to come and join us for the tour. Owen, if you'll step forward or wave. And Owen is our town fisherman. Tansy over there is our art gallery. And Stanley is our domestic cattle breeder.
I was pleased to meet you.
Hello, nice to meet you all.
Yes, thank you for visiting.
Mm-hmm.
Should definitely check out the art gallery after. I highly recommend it.
Oh yes, we have more in town afterwards. If you're ready to continue, we will. Here is what was once a beautiful, marvelous circus organ. The organ was a modern wonder. Needing no one to play it and having no keys, it produced sound through steam with a series of reused water and stovepipes and could play the most beautiful melodies. It was pulled on 3 carts behind 3 elephants as the circus parade arrived in the town, playing all the while and letting the residents know the circus was arriving. The circus had fallen to ruin after the death of the ringmaster and owner. The ringmaster was thrown higher than the high wire act one evening by a pair of elephants who looked to escape circus life. The audience watching the tragedy unfold sent out warnings to all they knew. Avoid the circus at risk of peril. This organ was purchased at an auction of items from the circus by a group of ne'er-do-wells who had a plan. They would travel with a reassembled pipe organ port to port, playing friendly melodies for tips throughout the day, and would quieten as the shops closed and the people headed to the neighboring homes. Then, in the late hours of the evening, they would stoke the fires of the steam heater until they were raging. The beautiful music, produced with gentle steam pressure, became a howling, screeching, clangorous noise. This caused the residents to flee their homes in terror, and the horses and animals would batter their stalls, not knowing what type of beast was capable of such noises. The ne'er-do-wells would slow the fires eventually, but only so they could issue a proclamation to the town. The fires would be stoked repeatedly until the township was able to come up with a predetermined fee to pay the ne'er-do-wells so that they would leave their port in peace. The ne'er-do-wells landed in as usual one afternoon. They played the beautiful music until the shops closed and the residents began to leave. And then they waited, and they went to the box on the top deck to get the wood for the fires. Instead of the residents being quietly asleep, the entire town was standing, row after row, lining the edge of the harbor, quietly staring directly at the vessel. The water was already flowing into the ship by the time the ne'er-do-wells could react. You see, the residents had been made aware of this approaching ship 2 days prior, and they had already formed a plan of their own. The pipe organ was dismantled and trod upon, resulting in the warped and discolored remaining pipes you see behind me here today.
Seems as though there's still a little bit of effect. Our friend here has fallen asleep.
Oh no.
Oh,
Poor Tansy.
She said she was feeling a little bit tired this afternoon when she came over, so.
She's shut herself up in the gallery today doing quite a bit of painting. I
Oh,
warned her about not having any windows open.
oh no.
but I'll
Please stand around the grave, but please fall in.
I'll be careful not to fall into the grave. Below us here lies the coffin of the final husband of the widow of Shallow Creek. She was called the widow because she had buried 12 husbands. 11 of them were deceased. She begged for help from the townspeople. She said she was being haunted by the vengeful ghost of her most recent husband. The widows of the town vowed to help her. They formed a group which would sit in the home of the widow while she tried to rest. It was a quick rotation, for you see they all eventually stared again straight into the eyes of the man they used to know. Each night someone sat with her just before the skies would lighten. There was a shuffling behind them. One after another the widows fled from the darkened, creaking home. Once that group was exhausted, the widow pleaded to the town that she still needed help. The young single men were rounded up and sent next, as they were thought to be less prone to fright. It was the same story, however. They all ran for their lives after they gazed into the eyes of the dead man. The oldest woman in town, thought far too frail, asked, "May I go next?" She sat slumped forward, next to a warm fire in a chair, her eyes closed, her back to the room, when the ghost appeared. His long, bony fingers reaching and clawing slid up over the back of the chair and around the woman's frail, thin neck. From outside the home, a blood-curdling scream that could chase wolves into their dens was cut short. The townsfolk worried for that frail lady, but humoring her had kept their ears open in case she called. A number of them reached the steps of the cabin at the same time, and they clambered to the front door, flinging it open. Standing tall over two bodies was the frail old woman. What no one had realized was that the oldest woman in town was also the wisest. Unable to sleep well in the cold night due to her old bones.
Oops, sorry.
Help? Oh no!
It's become increasingly slippery around the edge.
There you go. Ah, you're out.
How embarrassing.
They kept their ears open for her call. A number of them reached the cabin at the same time. They clambered to the front door, flinging it open, and standing over two bodies was the frail old woman. What no one realized that the oldest woman in town was also the wisest. Unable to sleep in the cold nights due to her aging bones, she slept during the warmer daylight hours. But every night, she watched the supposedly dead husband of the widow of Low Creek creep into house after house through town. For you see, as people went to sit with the terrified widow, her very much alive husband went to their homes to loot them while they were occupied. He would arrive later and scare the people back into their homes and then show what he had stolen earlier to his wife. The oldest woman, however, went prepared, a rolling pin in her sleeve, to expose the ruse of the widow of Shallow Creek.
Sounds like a clever plan that didn't work out so well.
Oh, yes, they had a plan. She was watching now. Always watching.
Oh, God.
In a remote cabin, something unusual happened. The owner of the cabin grew older and more tired, and as the years were catching up to him, he thought he needed a way to bring life back to his life. He found a place where he could, for a price, order a tincture, promising to bring that to him. He placed an order, gave his address, and was told to wait 6 nights. He would hear a loud bang on the door. He wasn't to look for the courier, however, only to wait quietly on the 6th night. On the arranged night, as he sat waiting, a loud bang was heard at the darkest portion of the night. Nearly jumping from his body, he realized only then he was still a bit stronger than he realized. He waited a moment, then opened the door to retrieve a package bound in hides and tied to a large stone. He thought that the bottle was unusually shiny, until he realized the shine was coming from inside the bottle. He swirled the bottle through his fingers and stared at the cork topper. He thought of his plan and he glanced up to the portrait of his loved one. He realized this bottle may hold more than he bargained for. What if this turned back his aging? What if it stopped his aging completely? Could he decide when he was through with the powerful elixir? He sighed and realized, now that he held the power in his hand, what he missed wasn't his youth. It was a part of his youth that was not coming back. Angry mostly at himself, he flung the bottle into the fireplace and it coated the back of it. The fireplace grew and modified and roared like a tiger and spit flames across the room. It eventually did settle back into a normal fireplace once again. But he was left wondering, what magic was in the tincture? He vowed to himself he would never again try to recapture that which is meant to be left in the past.
Sounds hot.
Deep in a prison lie a cold, dark, windowless cell. A guard routinely traversed the corridors. One prisoner that they didn't plan on having and didn't know the history of was a magician, trained in the art of lock-picking. Picking the lock would come easily enough, but getting out of the area proved more difficult. The cell was at the end of a U-shaped corridor. A prisoner had nothing but time on their hands as they sat, waiting, day in, day out.
Sorry.
They watched the guards, and they finally thought of a plan. The guards always took the same pathway through the loop, and they realized they would never go towards the guards, or they could be seen. But if they could go ahead of the guards, they may just make it out ahead of them. One problem, though, was the bed would be found empty, as they were on their way to their exit and freedom, and therefore raise the alarm bell. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I feel like we seem to be a hostile group for some reason. You might need it.
You may want to stand. Oh, that was awfully close.
Oh,
In an effort to fool the guards, they began to put away slices of bread and sausages in their pillows. This plan was nearly ruined twice on unplanned laundry days, when they had to gorge themselves on the food they had stashed away. Finally, a dark, moonless night came, dark enough for the plan to work. They neatly arranged the old bits of bread and sausages to form a vague figure. In the dark, it was just enough for the guards to see a sleeping body in the bed, and therefore give them time to slip away. The plan did go smoothly, and the prisoner escaped perfectly. The guards eventually discovered the rose, and knowing how the head of the guards would react to their being fooled, and knowing what they had to do to hide the evidence, the guards sat down for a most unwanted feast.
You're welcome to look a little closer to see what the bread and sausages look like.
Oh yes, it's just bread and sausages. It's not an actual human body.
And the tour continues here at the dentist office.
Continues right this way.
These two are some of my favorites.
Here before you is the interior of the city office of the butcher of Butterfly Lane, as he was later known. Shown on the table are the actual tools that he used. He fancied himself a dentist and was able to convince the local populace he was legitimate. The plant, known for hallucinogenic properties, he would cause patients to mentally leave their body, and he would tie them to the bed here before you. He would then remove all of the teeth of the victim, promising that he would only repair their teeth. It was so much easier to convince them afterward that all their teeth had gone bad, and therefore none of the repairs which he could not do need be performed. Human teeth were a prized, valued form of carotenoid, similar to bone but with a much sturdier structure if refined properly. The fraudulent dentist would leave his office early in the day, and that was thought odd by the community, considering how many desperately need dental work from him. He did have a nefarious plan for always leaving early. He was tanking the town's water supply with ground-up squid innards. The innards still contained the powerful acid that the squid uses to break down sharp shells that it ingests in its feeding cycle, and even once ground up and dispersed through the town's water, the innards still had enough acid quality to weaken the teeth of the city dwellers so that they needed dental work, and so that he would be supplied with all the teeth he needed. I said,
Oh my gosh.
Definitely my favorite one.
Wow.
This one keeps me awake at night sometimes.
Yeah, this one does.
A packed cargo freighter named the Sea Slicer sailed through a fog-shrouded sea. It lurched high and low through the water, crates groaning at its sides. On board, amongst the crew, stood a mere deckhand, as he pleaded, and his plea was heard by the only other thing that inhabited the world. The figure stood before him on the other side of the cabin door, but he could immediately tell it was not human. It had no facial features, and in fact, it had no features at all. The ship continued to careen out of control, and just as the figure reached through the doorway, it crashed on the shore of a desolate island. The deckhand was thrown overboard, into the water just by the shoreline, while running from the ship and the figure. The deckhand began to realize he wasn't breathing normally. With every breath he took, it grew shallower and shallower. The further he made it from the figure, the less he could breathe. The world grew darker and darker, until he finally went unconscious. The deckhand awakened, and found himself all the way back where the voyage began. But the ship, the crew, and the cargo were never seen again, They say the shimmer figure waits just over the shimmer for its next crew. Will you be the only one it spares, or will you never be seen again? We've had other stories added by people who have been traveling the shimmer. They say now that some type of figure on the other side seems to be replicating crew and ships. And when you sail through the shimmer, you may encounter yourself on the other side, sleeping, of course, as the other you was from another time and place. When you reach the other side and find the other crew, we wonder, why is the shimmer figure replicating people? Is it to increase the number of crew available on the other side? And also, we've heard stories of the shimmer figure stealing the youth from one person and gifting it to another. Why, we wonder. Also, we have heard that the shimmer figure is hungry, and it hungers for shoulder pets, and pets are on board your ship. Be sure to watch your pets carefully as you cross the shimmer, for the figure may just take them as an offer.
Oh my.
That's absolutely terrifying.
Yes, it is. You have anything that you've experienced at the shimmer? Fortunate
Oh, yeah.
lot.
For Johnson. Definitely have.
What?
Yeah, we've lost a bird or two. due to the-
No, not that. The taking the birds as well. There's not even much to eat on a bird, unless you're eating the feathers or something. What continues this way?
Please don't get too close to the bars. The printing press has been known to pull the victim into its press.
I'll explain to you why. The story of this printing press begins in the polar north. The freighter Frozen Cells was used to deliver supplies to a far-flung polar research base where the Frozen Institute was located. On the slippery top deck of the Frozen Cells, a crew member called out eerily, "Who's there?" when they heard voices through the fog crying. The calling out stopped the other crew members in their tracks, and soon enough they could hear it too. Voices calling out, but not in sorrow. These voices were calling out in song. By the time that anyone could raise the alarm, no one wanted to any longer. Below decks, a sleeping crew member who would be on a late shift was awakened, slid out of bed across the sleeping quarters. Just as the crew member made it halfway out the topside, the sails, sitting untended, whirled and snapped violently through the wind. The heeling of the ship was so intense, crew members who were not already overboard were thrown overboard. The crew member was awestruck with the horror before them. They plugged their ears with rolled cotton before they took their nap to stop the loud crew from waking them, and they were now oblivious to the sounds coming from the ocean, but they knew in an instant what was happening. The ship was under the attack of the siren's song. The masts, weakened by the whirling and snapping, groaned and gave way. They crashed down through the decks below and damaged the ship severely. The crew member climbed into a dinghy, lowered it to the waters, and looked around as their crewmates sickeningly dove underwater and disappeared into the now quiet blue abyss. The survivor rowed and rowed for hours in the frozen waters till they reached land. They staggered onto the frosty shores, called out for help, and collapsed. They had made it to the island of the Frozen Institute, and they would very soon be found. The same is not said for the Frozen Cells and the rest of the crew, who drifted further and further into the frozen, darkened depths. The survivor decided to print a book to tell the tale of what had happened to them that horrendous day. They used the boards from the very dinghy they survived in to make this printing press behind me to print their book on. It is said the sea sirens had placed a curse on that dinghy and the boards because they did not get the chance to clear the ocean completely that day. The now cursed printing press before you can at times call out to those nearby, asking them to climb into its gnashing jaws. It is rumored this printing press eventually devoured the crew member who created it, so we're left wondering, now, is it satisfied? Or is it waiting to strike again? If you're not afraid, we'll show you one of our newest exhibits here at the museum. Is anyone here afraid of clockworks by chance?
Nope.
Right.
I don't think Elias is around, so I think we're okay.
Any of you clockworks by chance? Or are you all regular people?
They seem pretty wound up, so I think they're human.
Alright. Yeah, should be fine. But if you're not afraid, you can approach the clockwork quietly.
The tour does tend to put people on nerves and wind them up a bit.
Have you encountered the clockwork before?
No.
Clockwork itself operates by a series of winding mechanisms, which allows it to operate much like some sort of winding doll would operate. Clockwork is able to take on multiple positions and movements, and we have found sometimes the clockwork will stop in between movements. Why, you ask? We don't know. The clockwork is also able to make unusual sounds sometimes. Sounds that are said to be just the grinding and squeaking of gears. However, we don't believe that ourselves. We believe that the clockwork is capable of much more. Have you seen any clockworks abandoned in the woods that could or could not be painted to look like a human form?
No.
There's one clockwork in a creepy woods just north of the Freeport in B6.
B6 is an island just north of the Freeport Island, and in the middle of the woods, there is marooned a clockwork. We fear that that clockwork has been abandoned in the woods, but we also fear that the clockwork has not been abandoned in the woods. We welcome you now to step forward, for we have found that this clockwork has a mechanism, and we're able to open the head of the actual clockwork. If you're not afraid, we'll let you gaze inside. Gazing down through the hatch on the top of the clockwork's head, you're able to see the eyeballs, and if you look closely enough, you'll be able to see that lining the inside of the mouth are human teeth inside of the clockwork. Also, there appears to be something growing deep within the clockwork's head, shaped somewhat similarly to a human brain. We're left wondering if there perhaps is something more to these clockworks. If you encounter any of them, please be cautious. We ourselves have not figured out what their purpose is. Thank you for taking a moment to hear the warnings, the latest warnings regarding the clockworks themselves.
Please,
Our exhibit here.
please come and stand in front of the double doors.
Yes, make your way in front of the double doors.
Now, what could go wrong? What possibly could go wrong?
In front of you stands Sarah, the oddity of Itch Meadow Farm. Born during a hurricane, it is believed that she was born mid-air the wrong way around. She is now utterly convinced that she is standing the right way up and cannot be corrected. She does not use her hooves, and she drags herself along the ground with her horns, instead to get around. She is able to see the berries on the underside of bushes that other animals miss, so perhaps she is an adaptation of a species to fill a void. We must file her hooves down regularly, as she does not wear than naturally. She produces what original owners referred to as the wrong way milk, but we here at BoggOdd Oddities refer to it as swilk. It is said that by not hanging down into the udders and cooling, her milk is able to stay hotter for a longer period of time, thereby producing a sweeter, more mature milk with a caramel flavor undertone that is prized over regular milk. If you would like, step forward and have a sample of the swilk yourself, but you're not required. Also, if you would like a closer look at her, you may take a look. We ask that you do not stroke the udders. We've had instances on other tours.
Yes, Johnny. That was pointed at you.
It's all you.
The swilk is good.
Oh, wonderful. All right. That concludes our tour here at BoggOdd Oddities. You're welcome to leave us a notice in the desk here. You're also welcome to leave a donation if you like. And on top of this, you're welcome to visit the towns neighboring here next door. We have the Town of Five Torch. Tansy has a art gallery that's stationed there in the town. You're welcome to peruse the arts that she has available.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for the invitation.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you very much for the tour.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much
Thank you.
for
It
being
was so
here
much fun.
and for hearing the unusual tales that we have here.
And the odd.
Warnings that we have. If you would like to visit the art gallery in town, we can take you that way.
She's rotten.
Lilia, let's go look, check out the art.
I think she may be writing on a piece of paper, so give her a second.
A little sleepy sometimes.
Yeah, I think I just got overwhelmed like imagining that sound, and it just got to me, and I just kind of passed out.
Yeah, it's easy to do. We're standing near the printing press as well. I'm not sure if that may be another layer to the printing press's tale. Perhaps it somehow lulls people into some sort of slumber before it.
Yeah, so did you enjoy yourself, sir?
It was wonderful.
Oh, perfect.
The amount of you guys put a significant amount of work in here, and it was it's impressive.
Did you have a exhibit that you were most fond of?
I liked it. They were all pretty good. I wouldn't say anything stood out. They were all good.
Oh, perfect. Thank you for coming.
Lilia, let's go check out the art exhibits.
Perfect. How many notes I got left? Read that. Double check the museum. I think everything's turned off.
See what's in there.
Is our horse? Wonder why.
She's just rounding the corner now.
Oh.
Mind if
Ugh. Yeah, that's foggy boggy.
Okay, so it does stack. Okay. Oh, outside of it, it's 30 minutes. Put it in the barrel. Stanley,
Yeah, Boggert.
the barrel seems to be probably better for your feed.
No, much better than one of the cloth bags.
Yeah, take a look in the cloth bag there and then look over in the barrel and see if I'm thinking of that correctly.
No, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too.
No, that's quite a bit of difference. It seemed very finicky. You had put one over here, and then I added the others, and they all sort of wanted to spoil at the same time until I pulled them all out and put them all back in again.
Yes, that's probably the strangeness about it.
Oh, well, that's very good to know. I've got a food barrel over in the barn.
Did you need a barrel out in the barn? I thought I gave you a barrel.
No, we have barrels over there.
Okay.
I think,
Did you put salt in it?
yes, I took the barrel over there and took everything out of the bag that had been in the thatch hut and moved it over there.
Okay.
It's got plenty still. I think I could use one more water pipe if you had the chance and we had the material on hand.
I may have some extras already crafted up. Let me check.
All right.
Yeah, there's a couple of pipes already crafted up. Well, if that's the case, I'll just start stocking up on the feed and put it in the barrel. Make that. Let's see here. To do that, I have to have marrow. That's going to be hard to do. I have to constantly hit elephants to get the marrow out. Did you see the pipes I made?
Oh, I didn't.
They're in this cabinet right here.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, look at that. Oh, it's... Oh, no, no. I will
You can just stand.
Boggert,
Yes, sir.
do you still need a sort of farmer's table over there? Just outside of the barn or somewhere around it, maybe inside?
I'll have it.
No, I think everything's pretty much over here now.
Okay. There's another hunter's table over
There's
there,
this
just in case we need it.
creepy bird
Okay.
skull in here.
What?
Oh, I don't remember what I was going to say.
Delivering the mail. It's airmail.
Do. Yeah.
This is probably better inside here.
I was. If
What did you do? Need anything? Oh. You
Just
can go. You can go now if you like. It takes about an hour and a half to take the tour. But we can do it on another time if that's... You need more time another time.
Okay, so that top one's getting ready to expire, but the bottom one's not. Okay.
Oh, there's Boggert. He might be the one to talk about aloe. I'm not really sure.
Oh, hello, sir. You never met me. I'm completely new here. I'm here. Shh. No. I'm here to sell. No, no, no. Shh.
I have 2 jobs.
I'm here to sell 1,000 blessed. Aloe. 1,000 aloe for 5 silver.
Really understand.
So you wanted aloe for 5 silver.
No, they're selling it. They're selling it low. That's a blessing for
Blessing.
Oh, for 5 silver. Okay, let me go grab the 5 silver.
I have a lot of aloe, not just 1,000. So if you want more than that,
you. Want
however
more?
much you want.
I'm just that's plenty.
Oh, that's fun. 1,000 aloe, 5 silver.
Okay.
Alright.
Just in case you're hungry.
Boggert, do you know if we have any spare bull saddles around?
I didn't look.
No.
Oh.
Alright.
Not me. That's fine.
Last I checked, you could craft those, or not craft them. I bought them at the Freeport.
The saddles for the bull.
Yes, I think so. Check the barn. There might be a couple extras in there.
I did see some that seemed fit for a horse, but not quite a bull.
Yeah. Was
In there.
Ooh.
Slap.
Good
Oh,
taste.
yeah.
Pardon me?
Oh, there you go, sir.
You got the one extra silver there.
Oh,
Gotta drop the coins. Drop the coins.
oh, sorry. My overhanded throw it.
Wrap them back up again.
That was a
You
really
can say
nice
that
throw.
all the time.
You are really strong. I'm sorry, man. I was saying.
I was saying you may want to see the
Yeah.
painting. The painting that
I
was
do.
the
I do.
picture was inside the
Hit me.
mold. Alright, yeah.
Come
Go.
this way.
Oh, thank you. You're also friendly.
It's upstairs. Unless you want to take a peek at these down here first.
This is the art gallery. This is the
Got the
beginning.
painting.
We have a lot of paintings here. All by Tansy. These are just representatives of portraits that she can paint of yourself if you want your own portrait. We just had some people want to be painted to look like clowns for some reason.
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute. Do I even look like clown?
Did you meet this person right here? You may not have met this person when you were not giving out blessings.
May not have.
That's Larry with the H.
I never met him. No. Why do you?
Oh, no, you weren't there. We understand.
I've never seen him.
He's definitely not someone you'd forget.
He was definitely not where we weren't the other day.
No.
This is the painting we were talking about.
Go on.
Oh my god, this is gorgeous.
We had already had conjecture of what might be in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's the cracks, you see. We knew something was in there. Something's hatching out of there.
Oh god, is the world gonna end?
Well, you had us convinced that it might be the serpent, the child of the serpent lord, coming for the end of the world, but now we wonder what could still be in there. Now it's open for
Right.
interpretation again.
No, I don't think it's Python. Python is the lord of parsley.
Nope, that's not it.
That definitely looks like tentacles.
There's a storm filled with seagulls. We saw this out at the ocean one day. Giant storm filled with seagulls.
Oh my god.
Not sure if the seagulls were creating the storm or not. And then this is a world with a cyclone. And then there's a dolphin riding the cyclone, and it has a cyclone. And riding that cyclone is a fish.
That was a bit of skill.
It's all amazing.
That was another thing that we had to prophesize the other day. Tansy, I have to tell you about the others.
Mm.
Mm.
This is the Moon Devour on the sun.
Ah, some kind of moon knight. This is also beautiful.
Up his head.
I used to be like that, but I think I'm getting older now.
Well, we all are, I think.
Oh, hello.
Oh, Alex,
Oh.
Boggert, Alex, she lives on our island over by Rennick.
Oh, welcome.
Nice to meet you. Yes, I
How
live in the
are-
fish hut. I do
How
have
are
a
you
house there
finding
now.
the island? Is it a good experience overall?
On this island?
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
She's
get a little
definitely not.
hot.
She's definitely not from the south side, is she?
She's from the north side.
Ah, perfect. We had a war chief, something. I forget what the title was, but he always said, "Stay out of the south side." And then next thing you know, they set up shop And then a day later, they were gone when they realized there was no metal.
Well, then I guess he missed out.
Yes.
I never ran into that man.
Yeah, I think the best part of that story is that they previously resided in the same space that Rennick is in, so that land has gone to much better use.
Ah, yes. But he always told us to stay out of the south side. But we never knew what was over in the south side, so we never did go back.
Hello, Elias.
Alex,
Hello.
Alex.
Hello.
Elias is our ship, so if you ever need any assistance with ships and whatnot, he's your best bet, yeah?
That's good to know. Sometimes I might need some planks or two.
Okay.
I believe I need to go visit Gorn here in a bit, later this night.
Hello.
Oh, there's someone in Tansy's offices over there. He's looking to purchase something, possibly. I
Oh.
did notice Tansy took down her bakery. There's not very many baked good posters up anymore. It's
Oh,
more of
yes. She changed it to be 100% art gallery now.
Oh, all right.
She wasn't making nothing out of the bakery.
Out of bakery. But an art gallery. Yeah, that's good. I didn't know that she had swapped it over.
I think it came on overnight.
Right.
Yeah, I think she got inspiration from Larry with an H.
Ooh, okay. That sounds nice. Well, we were just in there last night and everything was still like it was.
Yes. It seemed like everything came back at the roadway.
Yeah, I think so. I think we can go ahead and put in a road. It'll be all right. I think it's wide enough. I think it's tall enough. Far enough out of the water.
Yeah. And it should look pretty enough to walk across, I think.
Yeah, I think so. We could put some nice lighting over there. If that doesn't cause any issues at all.
Yeah. One step at a time, I guess.
Oh, sure. I am glad we could get some use out of the roadway, so, because we haven't been able to so far.
There's a ship sailing in.
Oh, I was afraid that the stones would...
The Navy.
Odd ship coming in, Boggert, right here behind the sign.
The little boat, I think. That little fast boat I thought was the Navy. Looked like it had its emblem on it.
It did have a little crown on one of the sails. Sounds like a possibility. I think they rammed the docks. Trying to test the integrity of our docks, Boggert. See if they've been built nice and sturdy or not. I do hope whoever's in there is able to see through the eyes for right now. Now they're going for Mr. Owen's ship. Here we go.
Well, welcome to Five Torches. How can I assist you today?
I'm sorry about your dock there. I was hoping I could throw the anchor in time. I do apologize.
Oh no, it's fine. Welcome to the town of Five Torches, where our docks are built very sturdy.
Oh, that's good. You got some pirates roaming about out there. Just keep your mind out there. Mind about yourself out there. Some like sea dogs or something they call themselves. But
Dogs.
I just saw a little sloop or schooner or something. I think it was a sloop. It looked like it had the Royal Navy, so they must be looking for him.
yeah, hopefully they're going in the right direction because that's where I just came from. Anyways, I am looking for honey. Would you happen to have any honey?
Yes. How much you need?
2,000.
2,000? Okay. Yeah. Let me go grab some.
How much are you selling it for at a stack of 1,000?
Let me check the shop over there and see my price that I put in there. I may be able to give you a bulk discount.
We have some shops just behind you over there at our markets here at Five Torches.
Oh, really? Okay. Are you in the market for buying crab legs or fish or prawns?
We have our own fisherman here in town, just above you here. Greenman Seafood Company Central Office.
Oh, sorry. If it was a snake, it would have bit me, madam.
Oh,
I'm a fisherman myself, so I run a shipping company, but for the most part, it's what I do on my downtime.
right. Let's take a look in the shop and see what we have a honey priced at over here. We can see what kind of price we can do for a bulk price for you. We'll give you a little discount. You don't have to buy those ones.
Yeah, I was expecting kind of a little more what the Navy would give you.
2,000 honey is 50 silver. Okay.
Yeah, I was looking to go get it for somebody, and he was charging me 40 silver, so I'd be at a 10 silver deficit if I did that.
Okay. We'll do 35 then.
35? I can do 35.
I make it 30.
You know what? I tell you the truth. I left my money back at home. I was coming in to harvest it myself.
Now's the time. We'll offer it to you now, and you bring the money back when you get a chance to come back this way.
Oh, yes. We trust you.
Yeah, we do.
Well, I can't. This was a one trip night. I mean.
Uh,
Inhaled killer and something.
there is something for you, Boggert. I was wondering if we wanted anything in trade that he might have.
Just because I don't have the coin, that's why.
Uh,
I can craft items. I'm a shipwright. I can make some things for you. Some top figureheads, maybe.
Figurehead.
Figureheads go for about 50 silver apiece.
Figurehead? What kind do you have? What styles of figurehead do you have?
I can make all figureheads. If you got a shipwright's table and you got the resources, I'll craft them for you. It's just your resources and you make all the profit. It's just my labor.
Well, we have a shipwright here, but we can always take...
galleons. I've gotten everything short of the secrets, so...
What would you like, Boggert?
I haven't seen too many figureheads on ships, so I don't know.
Like, I got one here. If you want to see the one I got on mine, check this out.
You have one that looks like a ghost or anything?
Yes. Make the ghost one. Yes, I can.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good one.
That's the silver one there. I got on mine in front of my ship.
We specialize in the strange and unusual here. We run an oddities museum.
I can make them. Let me see what they cost to make. They're very cheap to make, which is good for you because then you can profit off of them.
All right.
Like something you'd be interested in?
Yeah, we'd be glad to have one looks like a ghost if you can make one.
Yes. Hold on one moment. Let me check my ship.
All right, I'm gonna have a snack.
Oh, hello again.
Oh, hello.
I hear you have a museum?
Yes, the strange, the unusual, and the odd at BoggOdd Oddities Museum.
I would love to see a museum.
I will have to talk to Boggert to see if we can do another tour today.
Oh, very well, thank you. Good day, sir.
Hello.
Sir, since we are here...
Well, I'm sorry, I was very ill. I had to eat something. Oh, alright, thank you very much.
There's my flyer.
There's just some extra honey in case the others spoils.
And there's our flyer as well.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
There's if you want me to make you a few more of those ghost ones, they're 500 wood, 150 metal. I could provide the metal. If you got about 1,000 wood, I'll make you 2 more. That should get you at least 2 silver or 2 gold worth of profit if you sell them at 6 silver a piece.
We'll just take the 2. We thank you very much, though, for your business.
No problem. Thank you for being flexible and accepting that. It's a good thing I left my money at home because I was pirated halfway down here. So.
Oh, all right. Well, we're sorry for your troubles.
No worries. And now that I know what the pricing is, I'll adjust my prices. So if you ever need any more honey, I'll put them in the shop at a better price.
Okay, yeah, definitely, sir. Definitely appreciate that. I got some cooks around the island that like to buy honey, so maybe I'll just send them this way, or I'll charge them to come get it for them. We'll see.
Perfect. It just saves you time and effort to go to the mainland and get stung by those bees. It's just easier to get it here.
Right, exactly. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Well,
Safe sails to you.
Well,
Seas to you.
have a good day.
This
I'm
gentleman.
sorry, yeah, I was just asking about the museum. We seem to have a very interesting museum in this island.
Oh yes, we have a oddities museum filled with strangely odd and the unusual. It takes about an hour and a half to take the tour. If you would like to take the tour today, we can do one.
An hour and a half? It's a gigantic museum.
Oh yes, it's an hour and a half. There's a lot of description goes into each of the oddities so you fully understand what they are. Bye.
Goodbye, sir. Oh, I would love a tour. I mean,
Yes, we have
maybe I'll
17. We have 17 plus 1 oddities inside the museum.
maybe I'll bring my captain so he can see the exhibit.
Okay, sure, that'll be fine. We're closing for the day very shortly, but we will be open at other times. Did you have a flyer by chance?
Oh yes, I have one from a place that you did not see.
Oh yes, when we weren't there and we did not see you. All right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
I will be here Saturday to pick up a painting. Maybe we can do that then.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good.
And just for everybody, as next Saturday, the museum will be closed. There's things that I have to attend to, and so the museum will be completely closed on next Saturday.
Okay.
You go as well. I won't be able to be in town for that Saturday.
Oh, good to know.
Should not be much of a problem. Thank you all for your hospitality.
Thank you very much for stopping in, even though we've never met you before.
Exactly, never.
It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Get your blessings. Blessings.
Oh, no.
No blessings here.
No, if I may ask, did we also not meet you today? Is that the approach we should take?
Today you did meet me.
All right.
It's tomorrow that we didn't meet him.
Oh, okay.
We didn't meet you tomorrow. Oh.
Oh, not Tuesday. Tuesday you met me, yeah.
Alright, Tuesday.
Not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow. Okay, we'll keep it straight.
This sounds enough because I definitely have never met you before anyway, so it seems a bit simple.
None of us have. It's the first time.
Exactly, yeah. You never met me. I mean, I was never here.
I didn't see anyone.
Oh, yes. But,
Can you
hello
see
there.
that in the water? What's that?
Look way over there.
What?
Look at the water.
Is there something at the buoys?
It's must be.
Ah.
Oh, Boggert. That wasn't nice.
Did he just pop in there?
Oh, you slept.
Oh, the person is gone. The person we never met before or saw today. Oh.
Okay, so my pricing for honey is too much.
It's seeming like it. A lot of interconnected things. Things we aren't even supposed to know are connected or connected. We heard a story about what lives inside the moon. It was supposed to be the child of the Serpent Lord. But then we heard today that was all some sort of made-up story.
Just a ruse.
Yeah, it's a ruse. Now we're back to wondering what's inside the moon trying to hatch out of there. If it's not the Serpent Lord's child, what is it now? We thought we had it figured out. We were happy. Now we don't know. Something's in there. Now we're back to wondering.
Why do we not know now?
We don't know anymore. man who was here today, so that story about the Serpent Lord is not a real story. It was a made-up story.
Oh, the gentleman that we never met.
Mm-hmm.
When we weren't there the other day, yesterday. Blessings, blessings.
When you, was it yesterday that you never met him as well?
Mm-hmm.
Was it
The same time there was a horse that was never shot.
Yeah, the horse was shot.
And no one ate the meat from the horse.
Look, there was never, at least I never had anything to do with any horse being shot at the race, despite my desire for that horse to be punished.
We weren't there. Yes, we understand.
Yes, Owen wasn't there at the track, and he didn't lose 2 gold.
He didn't lose enough gold to get angry.
2 gold?
I did
That's
not
a far
lose.
cry from 30 silver.
No.
That's a true statement, isn't it? You didn't lose 2 gold.
Well, I suppose that's true. I did not lose 2 gold at the racetrack, no.
No, blast you, Boggert. You got me stirred up. Here I was, thinking that Owen was a bit more sensible than that, and you threw that into question. All because I misunderstood you.
Look, I won just over 2 gold, and then I lost about 70 gold. So, not 70 gold, 70 silver.
70 gold. Oh my goodness.
Silver. I just misspoke. I lost 70
We need to start fishing.
Right. I lied. To outfit all of the ships with more fishing attempts.
I'm gonna have to fish for Mr. Owen's body if he's lost 70 gold. It's gonna be down in the ocean waters somewhere. We have to find it.
This might be soon anyway.
He's going to tie himself to his own anchor and drop it.
I've got to start gathering tentacles so that we can that I can sell those. Apparently, some of the chefs need them.
Tentacles?
Yes, so I have to go hunt squid.
Oh, I thought you were going to do the whales.
Well, that too. I bought the ballista today. I need to. Any of you make the ballista bolt things, perchance?
Have you looked in the ammo box just right inside the workshop? I found some in a crate once. I think they're still in there.
I think we've found quite a bit on several occasions, and they've all sort of piled in there.
Fair. Do you want anything for them?
No, not really. Like to go with you one time. Like to see a whale and go whale watching.
But I fear that if I see a whale, it'll be a gruesome affair. But I suppose you're welcome to come with.
We watched the ballista as well. I haven't seen that. Did you put them on the front of the ship or on the back?
I'll be putting them on the back. I talked to a whaler, and he said it's best to lead them on and fire at them.
Sure. Right, we understand. Yeah, that could be an interesting adventure. We have to have some furs, though. It could get cold. I can make a wood stove for us if we need one.
I do on board, actually, a wood stove, and I have furs for myself, but I don't have furs for everyone.
I'll just wear your pants then. I think I can draw them all the way up around my neck.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I put one leg and one arm in each leg of your trouser, and then we'll gather the top around with a belt. And I can wear your trousers as an
one
outfit.
pair of pants for Boggert in one leg and Boggert in the other.
Yes.
We'll give your top to Tansy, and she can wear that as a dress. Should be fine. She can keep her pants on underneath, keep her extra warm that way.
Well, I suppose we could just get furs for everyone. That way we're not all having to try to wear the same thing.
What in the world?
Yeah, I'm kind of liking this new dress code.
All right. We'll do it the old way where everyone gets their own outfit. Sure.
I sort of did want to see Boggert and Boggert get on board the ship, sort of a sack race.
Each done one leg. I hop, then you hop, Boggert. We'll have to work it out where we're, like that, but forward a little bit. So, there you go. We'll work it out.
And as it plays out in my mind, my favorite part is when the two of you start to have disagreement and have a bit of a go at each other, and you're firmly attached.
Yeah. Well, we were attached once upon a time. I held on to his ankle and I said, "Don't leave home, Boggert. It's safe and warm here. Where are you going? We like it here. Why are you leaving?" And then I left 15 minutes later. I got nervous all by myself. I'd been left by myself at home.
That wasn't very nice of you, Boggert, to all alone like that.
Well, how else are you going to see the world if you just stay in one place?
I suppose that's true.
But then again, if we don't go look for the odd come look for us.
Sure does.
It certainly does. We've discussed that several times today already.
The odd comes looking.
All right. I think I'll run off to the barn, and then I'll probably be napping a bit in the bed there.
All right. We should probably put the closed sign on the museum. Everyone. All right. Very good.
I put your feed over in the barn as well. I made a sizable amount. But if next time anyone goes to the Freeport, the kitchen lady sells molasses, and I think I can make a blue ribbon feed.
Blue ribbon.
Okay.
Eating a blue ribbon dipped in molasses. Sounds unusual.
Did the book on domestic cattle have anything as far as construction of a kind of a breeding stable?
Not to my knowledge, no.
You might want to check to see if, there wasn't something in the pages.
Yeah, I think there used to be a breeding stable that you put your animals in before the mating. You kind of walk them in, and then you put your feed in the stable, and they feed right out of it.
It may be around, but who can say, though? Things change, so it may not be around anymore.
Yeah,
It sounds like something that's both a bit innovative and efficient. I wonder if that might be in a different book.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'll certainly stop by the workshop and take a look and see if maybe something comes up. Ah, another great song is here.
Alright, but I'm gonna go work on retrofitting my ship here, I think. If you need anything, just let me know.
Good. Sure. All right.
You hear something?
Owen's got a bird there inside the shop.
What kind of bird?
Not his bird?
Yeah, here. Oh, no, it is his bird. Just here inside the window.
Oh, yeah.
And from the sounds of it, I guess that Boggert didn't know about the bird.
Oh,
are you hearing there?
I can't recreate it. It was like a little.
Real soft like.
So sorry, pigs. I need your fur. Why are you beating it with sickle?
Boggert, I'm trying this special curve right here. See if it makes the trees feel sick or not.
Okay.
If it does, we'll take it out. Seem to roll on okay at the other end down there.
Yeah, seems pretty good.
Alright.
Boggert, what are you doing? Stand up, please. Run these up there. to level me out again. Little high on the vitamins. Anything else?
No, I think I'm done. I don't see anyone anywhere.
Okay.
Alright, I think it's time then. Before a ship pulls in on a flare of fires.
Okay. Okay, chat. That's in for me tonight. Going to end the stream there. Let's see who's on and throw it over to them. Let's throw it over to Run Wild. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.